Fear doesn't always feel dramatic in our body. Instead, it can show up as tension, hesitation, gripping, or the feeling like we're holding ourselves back from moving forward with something. So, in today's 30-minute slow full body yoga flow, we'll explore being able to ground through movement while we also open through the hips, the hamstrings, and the bladder channel through the back body. And the Bladder Meridian from Chinese medicine invites us to notice where we brace, where we maybe over effort or overextend ourselves, and what it feels like to tap into a deeper sense of steadiness while continuing to move forward. We'll mindfully move through standing postures with twisting and balancing, hamstring opening, and optional variations of Hanumanasana, or the splits. As always, listen to your body and move in a way that feels supportive for you today. All right, let's move into the practice. All right, let's start at the top of the mat in Tadasana. So you can stand with your feet hip-width apart, and first just lift your shoulders up and then roll them down your back. So you're finding space through the chest, even through your front body here. You're reaching down through your arms. So you're lengthening through the arms, the hands, the fingers, and you can begin to press down through the outsides of your feet and feel how that activates your legs. And it also creates a zip up through the core of the body, maybe feeling a little lift through the belly, and also length through your neck, ease through your forehead, and just bringing your awareness into your body, into your breath here. Now on your next inhale, take your arms up. And now stay here and just lift up through your arms, and you can move here as feels good for you. So you're opening up through the sides of your body, and you're feeling a lift and opening through the front of your body. If it feels okay for you, perhaps you want to lift your chest up a little bit and feel how you can lift up through your belly, lift up through the front of the legs. And then on your next exhale, let's fold forward, hinging at the hips. Bend your knees as you need to come all the way down into Uttanasana. And now bend one knee at a time, feeling into your hips, feeling into your lower back. And as you begin to create more space through the back of your legs, into your hips, your lower back, how that perhaps creates more space through your spine, maybe more ease up into your shoulders and into your neck. And now you can take a deep bend through your right knee, lengthen through your left leg as much as you can, and take your right hand down so it's straight under your nose. Take your left arm up. Just opening up into a twist, breathing into this, and feeling mobility, how your right ribs can move down, your left ribs can move up. Now an inhale, look down to the ground. Exhale, release, bringing your left hand down, lengthening through your right leg, taking your right arm up, and bending through your left leg. And feeling into this where you do, where it feels good for you. We're just warming up. On inhale, look to the ground. Exhale, release, folding forward. Now on inhale, lengthen through the spine, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold forward. Step your left foot back, bring your back knee down. Now on inhale, take your arms up into a crescent lunge. Exhale, release the hips down. Inhale, lift up through your belly, lift up through the chest. Exhale, release the hips down. Inhale, lift up through the torso, through the upper body. Exhale, release the hips down. One more time, inhale, lifting, opening through the front body. Exhale, release the hips down, bring your hands to the mat, step back to plank. Inhale here. Exhale through your version of chaturanga. Inhale into upward dog or into cobra. Exhale back into downward dog. Taking any movement that feels good for you here. Particularly feeling into your back body in this practice, and also the front body, how they work together. So as we're opening through the back body, we're supporting that opening by engaging through the front body, and then vice versa. Engaging through the back body to open through the front body. On your next inhale, step your right foot between your hands. We'll come into a low lunge position, lengthening through your left leg, 90-degree angle in your right knee. On your next inhale, press down through your right foot, lengthen through your right leg as much as you can. Exhale, bend through the knee, coming back into this low lunge position. We'll continue this, inhaling as you lengthen through your right leg, as much as is comfortable for you. Exhale, bend through the knee, lengthen through the spine, out through your back heel. Again, inhale, lengthen, feel how you can press down through your right foot. Exhale, fold through the knee. Last time, inhaling, feeling length through the hamstrings, the back of your right leg. Exhale, fold through the knee, step your left foot forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold forward. On an inhale, come all the way up to stand, taking your arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips to fold forward. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold forward. Step your right foot back, bring the back knee down. On an inhale, take your arms up into crescent lunge. Exhale, release the hips down. Inhale, lift up through the belly, lift up through the digestive system, the chest. Exhale, release the hips down. Again, inhale, feeling this lift deep through the core of the body. Exhaling, feeling a deeper opening through the front of your right hip. One more time, inhale, lifting, opening through the front body. Exhale, release the hips, take your hands to the mat, step back to plank. Inhale here. Exhale through your version of chaturanga. Inhale into upward dog or into cobra. Exhale back into downward dog. On your next inhale, step your left foot between your hands and come into a low lunge position. And then on your next inhale, lengthen through your left leg as much as you can. Maybe you don't lengthen it the whole way. Exhale, bend through the knee, lengthen out through the back leg, the back heel. Inhale, press down through your left foot to send the hip back, lengthening through the back of the thigh. Exhale into a low lunge. Inhale, press into the left foot to send the hip back. Exhale, bend through the knee, lengthen through the spine, out through the back leg. Last time. Inhale, lengthen through the left leg. Exhale, bend through the knee, step your right foot forward. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold forward. On inhale, come all the way up, taking your arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Step your left foot back. We're going to set up for a Parsvakonasana. So taking about a 45-degree angle in that foot. And let's come up to stand. So you want to be able to plant down through the four corners of both of your feet and also square out your hips. So your left hip is facing forward as much as your right hip is. And that your feet are set up in a way where you can do this and you can plant down through the four corners of both of your feet. So first feeling into that and that you're stable there. Your hips are square and stable here. And then feel how you can draw the inner thighs in toward the center line of the mat, in toward the center line of your body. And that kind of zips up through the core to help support you in this posture. Now it's up to you if you want to keep your hands on your hips for this, if you want to take a hold of your elbows behind your back, or if you want to take reverse namaskar. And then on an inhale, lift up through the front body as we've been doing, and exhale, hinge at the hips to fold forward. Press down through your right foot, sending your right hip back. And keep drawing your inner thighs in toward each other. Feel that you can lengthen out through the spine. Feel length through the back of your neck, drawing the shoulders into your back. Feeling space through your chest, and feeling support through your belly. Now you can release your hands down, and let's take the left hand. It's up to you if you want to take it to the inside of your right foot or to the outside of your right foot. If you have blocks, you can always use a block under your hand here. And now take your right hand onto your sacrum, onto your lower back. First, using that as a way to feel that your lower back is flat, and that's telling you that your hips are square. And from there, begin to twist, bringing your left ribs down, your right ribs up, as your lower back remains flat under your right hand. You're still drawing your inner thighs in toward each other. And then take your right arm up toward the sky. So in Parivrtta Trikonasana. Now on inhale, look to the ground. Exhale, unwinds, bringing your right hand down. Now we're going to come into a balance into Parivrtta Ardha Chandrasana. So you can come onto your right leg, take your left hand out in front of you. Your left leg is parallel with the ground. And just as we did in the last posture, bring your right hand onto your lower back. And begin to twist, drawing your left ribs down, your right ribs up. As you continue lifting up through your left leg, lengthening through the spine. If you want to complete the twist, you can take your right arm up. Exhale, bring your right hand down, bring your left foot down to the top of your mat. And hang over here. You can bend one knee at a time, just moving out any tension that you may feel. Now on your next inhale, come all the way up to stand, taking your arms overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips to fold forward. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Step your right foot back. We'll do the same sequence. Let's come up to stand. And finding a placement with your feet. So the right foot isn't too far back. So you find the placement of your feet to support the positioning of your hips. Where your hips can be square, where you can feel stable down through the four corners of both of your feet. Where you can feel long through your spine. And then taking any option through your upper body as you choose. If you took a hold of your elbows on the first side, change the holding of your elbows. And on an inhale, lift up through the upper body, through the front body. Exhale, hinge at the hip to fold forward. Press down through your left foot, send that hip back. And if this is a newer posture for you, you can use your hands to feel your lower back, to feel what your hips are doing. We want it ideally to be flat. Now you can release your hands down. Take your right hand to the inside of the foot or to the outside of the foot. Bring your left hand onto your lower back. And first feel that your lower back is flat. And from here, begin to twist. Moving the right ribs down, the left ribs up. Feeling long through the spine, long through the neck. If you want to complete the twist, you can take your left arm up. Now an inhale, look to the ground. Exhale, unwind. Take your weight forward onto your left leg, bring your right leg parallel with the ground. Take your right hand so it's underneath your face. Bring your left hand onto your lower back. Begin to twist once again, drawing the right ribs down, the left ribs up. As you continue, lifting up through your right leg, you're strong and long through your left leg. You can complete the twist, taking your left arm up if that feels good for you. Look to the ground. Exhale, unwind. Bring your right foot to the top of your mat. And once again, take any movement that feels good for you. You can shake the head out, yes and no. You can bend one knee at a time. You can sway the hip side to side. Now an inhale, come all the way up to stand, taking your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold forward. You can step or jump back into plank. Now an exhale, move through chaturanga, your version of. Inhale into cobra, upward dog. Exhale back into downward dog. On your next inhale, step your right foot between your hands, bring your back knee down, and we'll keep the left hand down onto the mat. First, just let your hips descend, kind of leaning into the left hip, and then bend through your left leg so you're bringing that heel in toward you. Now you can work on that. If you can take a hold of the foot with your right hand, you can take that option. And first, let's continue facing forward. And use your hand, if you have a hold of your foot, to draw the heel in toward your sit bone. It's feeling that opening into the hip flexors, into the psoas. And now you can begin to twist, moving your right ribs back, taking a hold of the outside of the foot, and then press your foot into your hand. Activating the muscles through the legs. And release once again. Let's bring the right hand down. And if you can get a hold of the foot with your left hand, you can take that option. And draw your heel in toward your sit bone, just feeling how this maybe changes the opening through your hip flexors, the front of your hip into your psoas. And now you can let go of the foot And let's lengthen through the right leg. Walk your hands back to support you. Draw the ball of the foot toward you. Activate through your quadriceps so the kneecap is lifted. And from here, you can fold over your right leg. Feel how the belly is supporting the spine, the quadricep engaging helps to lengthen the hamstrings through the back of the thigh. And now you can lengthen through your right leg, bringing the ball of the foot down. Continue folding over the leg, just feeling into the opening through the front of your right leg, maybe the front of the ankle down into the top of the foot. And then you can draw the ball of the foot in once again. Now you can stay here, opening into this Ardha Hanumanasana. If you want to deepen into this, you can tuck your back toes, bring your back knee up, slide your right heel out to come into Purna Hanumanasana. And we won't hold this for very long. And just notice how you are with yourself, where you tend to brace in your body. And if you have a tendency to want to force your body to do anything, and if instead you can find a way to soften into opening. As we find ways to do that, we can find ways to be softer as we move ahead with more challenging actions that we choose to take. Now you can, if you're in Purna Hanumanasana, lift up through your back knee, bring the knee in. Let's come back into an Ardha Hanumanasana. Bend through your front knee, take your hands onto the mat, tuck your back toes, step back into plank, and on exhale, move through your version of Chaturanga. Inhale into Cobra Upward Dog. Exhale back into Downward Dog. On your next inhale, step your left foot between your hands, bring your back knee down. Keeping your right hand down, let your hips release toward the ground. So you can kind of relax into your right hip. And now bend through your right knee to draw the heel in toward your hips. And maybe that's where you're at and you just want to work on that motion. If you can take a hold of your back foot with your left hand, you can take that option. And let's face forward with this at first, drawing the heel in toward the sit bone. As you continue to release the hips down, this is a place to feel into trust. We can hold through the hip flexors, the psoas, chronically brace. So allowing this to open and opening us into a deeper sense of trust in ourselves as we trust the body more. And now you can begin to twist, taking a hold of the outside of the foot and press your foot into your hand. Activating through the muscles, feeling this mobility through your thoracic spine as we've been working with in this practice. And now you can unwind, bring your left hand down, And if you can take a hold of your foot with your right hand, take that option just to feel how that changes the opening. I definitely feel a difference. Now you can release. Lengthen through your left leg, walk your hands back. Draw the ball of the foot up, of your left foot up. And activate through the front of your left leg. Begin to fold forward as you're sending your left hip back. And as you're creating space through the back of your left leg, perhaps you can feel that translate up through your spine, up through the back of the left side of your body. Noticing how your breath can support you here. And now you can lengthen through your left leg, bringing the ball of the foot down toward the ground. Feel how this changes the opening for you. And your tendencies in how you are with yourself. Just exploring more possibilities in softening and trusting yourself, trusting your body, trusting where she's at right now, or he. And then you can bring the ball of the foot back. And you can stay here in Hanumanasana. And you can work with micro movements, feeling into your hamstrings. This is a great hamstring opener, working through the bladder channel of the back body. If you want to come into full Hanumanasana, lift up through your back knee. Take your left heel out. And I recommend keeping the back toes tucked so you can keep working the inner thighs in toward each other. So you get a deeper opening through the front of your right hip here, deeper into the psoas that store deep stress, can store trauma for sure. Chronic bracing. Getting into that as well as your left hamstrings. And if you're tighter on one side than the other, you can always bend your knee and work dynamically in that way, actively lengthening through the leg, actively engaging through your left quadriceps to help lengthen through the hamstrings. Now, if you're in Purna Hanumanasana, lift up through your back knee enough to bring that knee in, to draw your left heel back, coming into Ardha Hanumanasana. And then we'll all bend through the front knee, take your hands to the mat, step back into plank. On exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Let's breathe here. Feeling an opening through the chest, a lift through the front body, the support through the back body. And then you can exhale back into downward dog. On your next inhale, release your knees down onto the mat and come to sit on your heels, resting your hands into your lap. Your palms can face up. Let your ribs and your shoulders stack over your hips and close your eyes. Letting your practice integrate here.
And just take a moment to notice how you feel in your body, maybe mentally and emotionally after this practice, even if the shifts are subtle. And practices like this can remind us that moving forward doesn't always require force or urgency. Sometimes it begins with creating a little more steadiness, grounding, and trust within ourselves, one breath and one step at a time. Now, if you want more yoga practices inspired by the meridians and real life symptoms like anxiety, emotional overwhelm, fatigue, digestion, and sleep support, you can download my free 5 meridian yoga practices that I have linked in the description. And if this practice resonated with you, feel free to leave a comment sharing what you noticed during the practice or what themes you'd like me to create future practices around. Your comments help to support the channel, and they also help me create content that's most meaningful for this community. And of course, if you want more meridian yoga, EFT, meditation, breath work, and holistic nervous system support practices like this, be sure to subscribe so you can continue practicing with me here. Thanks so much for taking this time to be present with yourself, with your body, and with your breath, and for practicing with me. I'll see you in the next video.